On November 11th, 2023, Rick Wentzel got in a car accident coming home from Springerville, heading to Pie Town, New Mexico. I sit down with Jody Wentzel, and we talk about the life that Rick Wentzel had enjoyed, and the love and passion that he had with hunting, and the military service that he had served. Jody, how did you guys meet?
So I met him 10 years ago. And when I met him, he was already really into hunting. He had already been to Africa and been to Colorado. And I met all the friends. And I'm like, I would love to learn how to hunt. He's like, really? And I said, well, yeah. I said, I'm a Wisconsin girl. I love to fish. And I used to go hunting with my dad, duck hunting and pheasant hunting. I said, but I've never been elk hunting. He's like, well, you want to go deer hunting? I'm like, I can't shoot it, Joe. I'll shoot a buck. So that's a mom thing. So when we went elk hunting, he took me to Colorado the first time we went hunting. And I went with a couple of the other air marshals, and they had hunted out there religiously for the past 7 years. And they kept telling me, you're fine, there's no bears, you're good. And it's not like I was really afraid of them anyway, but the first day we go hunting, a grizzly bear runs right over my path. It's a kind of a story. I don't know if you want to listen to it, but I had to go. And I literally got up and turned around and sat on this little ledge, and I hear this huffing. About him going, I hear these trees breaking. I'm like, babe, elk. And he's like, all right. So he's like, you got your bow? I'm like, got my bow. I go, no, bear. And I see this bear just huffing over where I was literally just sitting. And I just froze, and I'm like, please don't look at us, please don't look at us, please don't let me go by. And he's like, get your safety off your gun, get your bear spray. I'm like, I'm already on it. Gets up, bear goes up around the corner. He's like, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm like, what do you mean you'll be right back? I'm like, there's a grizzly bear right there. Pretty sure you better stay right here. We had a friend behind us that was at full draw the whole time because he thought there was elk coming through. He's like, nope, bear. And we were like, we gotta go. So we went out the opposite way, and from here to the end of the house, there was a trail we came in, and you could see him pacing. Rick put his hand down. They were twice the size of his hands, and Rick had really big hands. So we had to call the DNR and the rangers out there and let them know we had that experience. But that was the first time he took me hunting. Him and I met when I was working at a bar, and he was with our VFW. And he came in and we just started talking, and I started talking about hunting, and he started talking about hunting, and next thing you know, that was that. And we got married, and he took my daughter out and showed her how to shoot her bow, and she shot her bow like one time and clustered that big the first time, and I'm like, you're done, you go now. Because she was so good. He's like, Jordan, you gotta do this. She's like, I'm bored. So she just turned out to be a natural. And then I went out there, and I did pretty good. Then we do the total archery challenges. We did that out here, like 3 years in a row. Him and I did that.
Jody, tell me a little bit about the cabin that you have. What are the plans for it?
So you go through the process of getting to the VA and getting to the federal air marshals, and then we have to fight for the money for that. And so Tuffy and I were talking about fixing it up and maybe renting it out or letting hunters use it, or if I could do some VA organization to let the veterans come and stay there and hunt and just take the passion of his passion and finish his dream. So we're trying to work on that, but financially, it's hard. I have stuff there, but I don't have people there. So my girlfriend's looking for people to like donate their time or donate materials or come in and help finish it up. But I'm like, do it. Whoever puts time and money into it, it's theirs to use. It's beautiful out there, and we're so close to it. Did you go to the property ever?
No. I mean, I was planning on obviously spending many more years to come down there and obviously checking it out. We were supposed to come down there to do a cow hunt with him, and so there's obviously future plans of coming down there and looking at it. So
yeah, and I don't want to change that. So right. Were you just at Tuffy's, or did you go to the icky old cabin?
No, I've been. I was at Tuffy's. I was at Jeremiah's. I mean, I've been at who's the other cook that was up in Daddle? Shelby. So Rick went to Africa
He loved his Africa trip. He always wanted to take my daughter and I to Africa. He actually had a plan to take us to Africa, and I can't remember what happened. We weren't able to go. And he would sit with my daughter, and because he would take us to the CSI conventions, and I just loved going to CSI. And he wanted to take us to Africa, and he asked my daughter. Yeah, exciting here, moral rounder. So this is the list of things that you can kill. What do you want to kill? She's like, I want to kill a monkey. He's like, no, you don't. He's like, that's killing a person. She goes, I don't care. Look at how mean they are. Baboon or whatever they are. Yep. He's like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, that's what I want to kill. And his dream was to do that, and his big dream was to get me my elk. So every year we got an elk tag, and every year I'm like, just sell it. Just sell it. Well, because either we needed the money or he was guiding anyway, and he would give up that hunt with me to go guide because that was his passion. And then this year he's like, honey, I'm getting you a bull, and that's it. That's why Tuffy's like, I'm going to fulfill that dream. I'm going to take you and get you a bull someday. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't keep up with my husband, much less probably you, Tuffy, or any of your guides, but that was his dream, and we never got to do that either. And I want to take that house too because he's got all his African mounts. What do I do with that stuff? I don't want to get rid of them. Those were his dreams. And he has his elk. I don't want to get rid of that. Wait, dogs into Mr. Boone. Yeah.
So did he tell you much about the hunt? Like, tell me.
About his hunts?
Well,
your hunt.
My hunt. Do you remember any particulars about it?
So you were, now mind you, there's like so many hunts
right,
that
right.
I've heard about.
Well, my hunt in particular, we were rained out a couple times. There was a red truck that constantly got in our way.
Remember that, yeah.
I'm sure you complained about that. But
yes.
we stayed through some of the rain. We ditched a couple of Nicole's meals.
My hunters so when I was cooking, the hunters that I had, I'm so used to hunting with my husband that when you go out, you're gone all day.
Yeah.
You sleep out there, you have a snack for lunch, you don't come in.
I think we ditched 2 of Nicole's meals, but we took her burrito, so.
Yeah, okay,
So we didn't technically go to the cafe, we went.
When I was hunting or cooking for these hunters that came out, and one of them was he just wanted he just wanted the antlers. He didn't care about the meat. And I kept thinking, I said, well, honey, do I do breakfast and lunch and dinner? He goes, well, that depends on them. And I said, well, what kind of hunters go come in for lunch, go back out, and then come back in? And I said, who does that? He's like, well, some of these guys do that. And we never did that. When we were out, it was dark when you left and dark when you came home. Then you took a nap out in the wilderness, and that's what you did. Oh. So these guys were coming in, so I'd have to make them lunch, and they'd come in and they'd have a good time, and then they'd go back out, and my husband would be like, honey, not everyone can keep up with you.